Welcome to the show that we are now naming. Last week was our very first show, and we didn't really know what to call it, so we were asking people to kind of comment and write in and give us some ideas and hints, and so we finally came up with one. You can see it on the bottom of the screen, and we are now
Soapbox
Union. So I'm Cami.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are here to talk about all different kinds of things. We like to sit here and chat about everyday life and then draw inspiration from women who came before us and for the women who inspire us today. So our topic of discussion today is...
Because I'm happy if you feel like a room without a roof. Happiness!
So this is actually a really... Okay, it's fun because it's happiness, but this really is a fun topic to talk about. I want to just jump in because I think we need to go with the yin and the yang here. We need to go with, a lot of us don't have or struggle to find happiness, but then how do we get the happiness? You know what I mean? So,
yep.
Okay, so
you can't have happiness if there aren't some sad days.
There you go. But we seem to have a lot of sad days lately. So here I am going to go into a little bit of the low point.
You're bringing us down.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing it on purpose. Anyway.
It's okay.
So again, in the theme of womanhood, we as women have a lot to celebrate right now. I mean, we have made leaps and bounds throughout history to get to where we are today. I mean, we had the women who sacrificed and suffered as the suffragettes to get us equal rights and to be able to vote and to move women out of this being of property and things like that. And then we had the 70s, and there was another movement with the womanhood. And so we have come, like I said, leaps and bounds where we are in the government. We are CEOs of companies. We are heads of universities. We are doing so many amazing things. We're astronauts. We're fighting in the military. And there is so much... Whoop! Did you just get goosebumps? I totally got goosebumps.
No.
It's just me.
But it is exciting.
But it's exciting. I love it. I love that there is this equality. And women make up half the workforce now. Having said that, though, we still do everything we used to do, but all these other amazing things on top of it. So yes, we are fighting the military, but we're moms. We are heads of universities, but we're still going home and cooking dinner. And it's like we've double dutied ourselves and
took on all the duties.
Duty. Sorry. So anyway, we have just taken on so much, and now we're relishing in the fact that we can do all these things that we couldn't before, but now we're just exhausted, and we're stressed, and we're tired.
Hey, time out. This is the happiness issue.
We're
already stressed and tired, and we haven't gotten 5 minutes. So
I know.
How about, maybe a happiness quote?
Okay, go for it.
I actually don't have my papers here.
Okay, well, if you just let me keep going with what I'm doing.
Okay, we'll get there.
But I just want us to talk about, finding our happiness again, because I feel like we've lost it. I think that we've done so much and we work so hard that now we have to get back to our happiness zone. And what are the things that make us happy? What are the things that we love to do?
Okay.
Do you have things that you like to do?
I'm back to happiness quote. I do have things that I like to do. And I feel that sometimes happiness is elusive. Or if you're not really, when I wasn't really defined at what would a happy day even look like, it felt like they weren't there. So as I learned how to define happiness, I found it a lot more abundant. But one of the things that I like is this quote. It's from Marianne Williamson again. I'm kind of a...
Are you a little bit of a...
I guess. I didn't even realize.
A junkie?
Anyway, joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. And I have found my happiness has increased as my expectation bar has decreased. Seriously, it's a happier life just lowering that bar a bit of
Yeah.
of not being super woman, super mom, super employer, super friend, super
Yeah.
whatever, and just kind of realizing the abundance that we live in.
So, in other words, like you're looking for the little things in life.
Yeah.
You're finding those little moments.
I call it the heart rock philosophy. I have always been a lover of rocks. I've collected them since I was little. I'm going to bring this one close so you can see it, because this is a really special heart rock. Now, oh, there. Heart rock. And heart rock for both sides. This one came from Prince Edward Island. How cool is that?
I've always wanted to go there.
Okay, so have I. And
Did you not?
I did go.
Okay, like, then how did you get a rock from Prince Edward Island?
Someone sent it to me. No, this summer I went for the first time. I would move out there in a heartbeat, but I looked at the salary that they pay teachers, starting $38,000. But don't worry, at the end of your
Why, what is it in
tenure,
Alberta?
oh, way higher.
Oh, I don't know.
And at the end of your teaching career, you can make up to $47,000. So we will not be moving out to PEI anytime soon.
Well, and speaking of happiness and PEI, I love Anne of Green Gables.
Right?
And I went to Avonlea. Those were my favorite shows and movies growing up. I was addicted, and they made me so happy.
Good, they made me happy. That's why this heart rock from PEI is just a little bit of happiness.
You know, Kate, so it's funny that you pick up. I love rocks too. Everywhere I go, I will instinctively just pick up a rock, and I feel like and not just any rock. Like, I get drawn to certain rocks. I'm like, that rock needs to be in my pocket, and that rock needs to come home with me. And it's funny how many people that I talk to. I really like the texture on this. How many women pick up rocks and feel connections to rocks? I have no idea why, and especially heart rocks. You're not the only person. Like, who out there
on the hand, maybe quite sentimental.
Who out there collects rocks, and who gets heart rocks? Is there anybody else out there? Because I swear this is a female thing. We all just tend to do it. Whatever. And I've always really wanted. Okay, I'm digressing, but I really wanted a jar with either like all black rocks and one white stone, or all white and one black. You know, because I love
Guess
black
what?
and white.
If that is your joy, you can make that happen.
I know, and I'm working on it. I just need to go places where there's lots of either black or white. I can't go to people's yards that have like the white rocks in their yard. That's just cheating.
The white. Can you see that one? The white heart rock. It could be your one white rock and all your black rocks.
Well, okay, but this isn't stark white. I want.
Lower the bar.
Oh,
lower the bar.
I'm white. No, I'm not lowering the bar, because that's not going to make me happy.
Yes, it will.
What were we talking about?
Joy is what happens when we allow ourselves to recognize.
Okay, so the little things.
Yeah.
Finding the little things in life. And it's true, because sometimes when you just put those rose-colored glasses on and you look at this. Okay, I wasn't planning on doing this, but seriously, it just popped in my mind. We're in December. We're Christmas mode, right? One of the most classic movies is White Christmas with Bing Crosby and, Mary's wearing. So every time, and I have this song has stuck in my mind ever since I've listened to it, and it's where Bing and he's talking to Rosemary Clooney, and they're sitting on the steps, and she can't sleep, and he starts going to the song, when you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings.
Can I make a confession? I don't think I know White Christmas. Is that where they sing clang, clang, clang goes the train?
No. That's Meet Me in St. Louis.
Okay,
that's Judy Garland. That's like, whoa, Kate.
I know the song White Christmas.
You have got to watch this movie. You're a musical fan, right? Like, you like musicals. Well, obviously, if you know Meet Me in St. Louis. I can't believe you haven't watched it.
Is Meet Me in St. Louis with Sisters?
That's White Christmas.
Oh, that's White Christmas.
Oh,
okay, so I've seen that part.
Goodness,
I love that
sakes
song.
alive. Yeah, that's what that song. Okay, but anyway, the point was that song sticks with me, and you do, and sometimes you really have to. And I have learned in life to just love the little things. Like, I get really excited over insignificant little things, like, oh, there's a butterfly on my flowers in my garden. Oh, look at the butterfly. I know it sounds really cheesy. It sounds like really like, but it's true. You have to appreciate these little things, these little moments, and especially in nature, because there is so much beauty and detail in nature that is surrounding us, but we just don't take the time to stop and appreciate it.
For sure. I have one girlfriend who always, like, once she sees something in nature, she'll kind of look up its meaning. And so if she sees a white rabbit, she'll look up what that means and what that signifies to her. And there's always
really,
like,
meaning. She feels like everything is put in her path.
Oh yeah,
for a
she
reason.
is so intentional with everything that
That's cool.
It gives a lot of purpose and meaning, and it makes for great conversations.
Yeah, it does. I'm going to start doing that. That sounds fun.
Well, yeah, even I love, on a little bit of a tangent, but still focusing on happiness.
Yeah.
When I dream, I try and quickly write it down, and then I go to Dream Dictionary. Do you know what that is? Like dream moods?
I do.
Dream moods, and then you look up the symbol, and then you see, I like it because it's like, it could mean this, or it could completely mean this.
See, but that's kind of like, fortune telling, where
no,
like
it's just about
all that could
all the information that life is giving you, especially in your subconscious. I think that reveals a lot of what we really want or think, or what we're scared to face. Often what comes up in my subconscious are things that I'd rather not know about, that I've been trying to push back, so I don't know.
And sometimes when we suppress things and we're not, bringing them forward, then that causes anxiety and stress and us not to be happy.
Okay, so I went to that movie Littlefoot. My dad took, actually, our whole family.
Like The Land Before Time, Littlefoot?
No. Smallfoot. It's called Smallfoot.
Whoa, that was like...
Yeah. And anyway, it was about... Have you seen it?
No, obviously, because I didn't know the name of it.
Well, you didn't know it wasn't Littlefoot. No, this wasn't The Land Before Time. Anyway, I had no idea what it was about, but it was about Sasquatches in the mountains, and this
isn't that Bigfoot?
Yeah,
Littlefoot,
small. Well, but anyway, and it was this whole village of Sasquatches, and they had, and they had kind of a myth that there were small feet or men, and we have kind of a myth that they're like Sasquatches.
Now we're going through their eyes at us.
Yeah, and the two worlds combine and meet, and
this sounds interesting.
The Yeti has to go over all his fundamental core beliefs. Like, it starts off with, I'm so happy. Like, there's this original song that's like, I'm so happy, I believe everything I'm told. And then he realizes, his whole foundation is rocked. And it's this little kid show, but I look over at my dad and I say, this is really intense for just a show. And it's kind of...
Yeah, but sometimes they make shows that are really... easy for kids, but then there's an underlying tone.
Well, there's not even an underlying tone. There's just kind of what is truth. But I feel that same thing for what is happiness. Is the more clearly you define it for yourself, the more able you are to create it. So, if you have something like a vase with white rocks and one black one. I say, let's go for it. Next week,
I'm doing it.
Let's challenge her. We want to see the vase. No, maybe you have a few other tasks you need to do. How about in the new year?
If you knew my life and how many tasks I have, I don't know.
Or someone can gift us this gift.
Give us some white rocks and one black one, or vice versa, because we're looking for it.
So for those of you that have just joined us, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Cami.
And we are together, the Soapbox Union. Oh, unionized.
Oh, shut up. Okay, so that was really cheesy. But anyway, going back to, we're talking about happiness today, and I wanted to go back because we touched on a little bit of enjoying the little things and appreciating the little things in life. I also would like to go forward with, in our thought of happiness and how to find happiness, I think it comes down to learning to love ourselves. And not like, oh my gosh, I totally love myself. You know, like there's this SNL, Kristen Wiig, she does like this character, Penelope. Okay, so I don't have long hair, but in the character has long hair, she's like, okay, it's like, and like everything that she does is like topping and like upping the next person. You know, you have people like that in life. Okay, so not like that. Obviously, not like that. But I think we need to be confident in ourselves and we need to love ourselves, because when we don't have the confidence, that's where we start tearing ourselves down and tearing ourselves apart. And seriously, I'm going into this doom and gloom again.
No, you're not. It's a tough call, because happiness has both sides to it.
But truly being happy is loving yourself and being confident in yourself. And a lot of us struggle with that.
Oh yeah.
Today.
And even I would say there's moments where it's so easy, and then there's moments where that seems almost impossible.
Some days it's day by day, some days it's hour by hour, minute by minute. Okay. We are very emotional beings, us females. Our emotions like all over the board. And okay, so yeah, we do have hormones and that's what makes us special, but they do affect our mood a little bit. And sometimes we just don't know which way we're going to go, and we can't help it, but it's just part of life, and that's what we go through.
Well, there's actually 2-to-1 is women are more likely to have severe depression
than men. Yes,
I
know.
And part of it was hormones.
Yeah.
Part of it was socialization, how we're socialized that women or girls are taught to think more of others and take a whole lot more on them.
Yeah.
And there was a few other things that were just kind of
a lot of, and then stress again, like what I was saying before. We're in the workplace, but we're also still at home, and we're like colliding two worlds together. And I can't tell you, stress levels are crazy sometimes, because we're doing double duty all the time. And we're emotional people. I mean,
and I think we're multitasked to think of, okay, what's the best for everyone in this situation? And sometimes that's just flat out exhausting.
Overthinkers.
Yeah. Not even overthinkers, just...
But don't you lay in bed, I know I'm not the only person, don't you lay in bed at night and just like going over your day and then like thinking about tomorrow, and I have to do this, I have to do this, make sure I do this, and put full screen, to the point where I'm putting sticky notes by my phone, because I know when I wake up in the morning, the phone's the first thing I can look at, and then I put the Post-it notes on it, then I remember what I have to do that day.
I wish I was more like that, because I actually had to hire a time coach so that I would remember to put sticky notes by my phone. But yes, I do know I do.
And then it's like, okay, but we have to remember not just for ourselves, but everybody else, like our kids or our husbands or significant others, and then like everybody at work, and like, make sure they do this, make sure they do this, and make sure, and you're like, what? Taking on this whole load.
So there's a Chinese proverb.
I am already stressed.
Here we go. If you want to be happy for 1 hour, take a nap.
Love it!
Wait, there's more to this proverb. If you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. And if you want to be happy for a year, what do you think?
I don't know, buy Baskin Robbins and eat ice cream every day.
Well, that was one of the things. Sometimes we're emotional leaders.
Okay,
it said inherit a fortune. But if you want to be happy for your lifetime, help someone else. Right?
Oh,
which
wise
is that,
old.
Those Chinese, they know everything.
They're so wise.
That's right. That's what happens when your culture exists for longer than 150 years. You teach wisdom like that.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
So what's hard with this
is,
so in order for me to be happy, I have to help someone else. But sometimes there feels like nothing to give. So you have to have enough to give to help. Because have you ever tried to help someone when you have literally nothing and you end up kind of resenting them?
Yeah, I do it all the time. All the time. And I'm a yes person, so
you have to learn how to say
know that. So I am always the first person. Cami, can you do it? Because I know I won't say no. And I'm like, yep.
Have you learned to say no?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, that's practice. Cami, can you make me a custom design bag?
Oh,
She
I
actually
did that already.
I'm glad she didn't say no.
Yeah, I did that already.
Yeah, okay. Well,
It's a hard thing for me, and because I feel so guilty if I don't say no, because I feel like if I don't do it, then I'm going to let somebody down. Anyway. Yeah, I got to learn to say it, and say it happily. No, I'm not doing that.
well, let's get into some therapy. Why is it not happy? Why is no not happy?
Because are we gonna do this? I don't, because I don't want to cry.
Okay.
Because it's a feeling of my worth. Like if I can help somebody and somebody recognizes it, then I feel like I have worth. Do you know?
Yeah. So, I do know that.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's no easy answers to these.
No,
happiness.
It's not. And you know what? And to be honest, we are not experts. I mean, we're not educated in a certain aspect of anything. I'm called like a jack of all trades because I'm good at a little bit of everything, but I'm not fantastic at one thing. So we're just two women who have lived life and a lot of experiences, and just going by what we've known and what we've been through. So that's sometimes that's kind of the best way.
Well, right. And I do find, here's the one thing I found about happiness, is that as I tried to portray perfection or even acquire it or like pretend I have it,
you're more miserable.
Oh, totally miserable.
I hate being perfect.
I was never good at it.
No.
It was exhausting.
Hello.
and plus, if I ever did try and make friends that had that, they were no.
You can't stand them.
I was a good person.
You know that they're just fake, and you're like, well, what do we care about this person? Because we know they're just making it up.
The more I could just become real and actually say, this is my struggle, help me, that's when I felt way more joy and way more like just relief. And
when you're around other people that admit their weaknesses and show their vulnerability, you're like, oh, I really like you. Can I hang out with you? Because you're so different and
I love
not plastic and not fake, and I
love this quote.
No time for people like
it
that.
says, maybe the truth is there's a little bit of loser in all of us.
Oh.
Being happy isn't having everything in your life be perfect. Maybe it's about stringing together all the little things.
Yeah, that's cute.
That's the girl who wrote The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't read the books, but I watched the movie. It was really
And
good.
do you know what else makes you happy? Girlfriends.
True.
You can't live without girlfriends.
Yeah. Women, we need women.
Yeah, honestly, they make the world go around. They make life so much easier because they allow you to laugh and giggle and vent and like shoulders to cry on, and that's some of the best things in this life are having girlfriends. Sorry, I'm looking for a quote because I wanted to quote something.
No, that's good. Well, she's looking for a quote. So something that makes me happy. When I was little girl, I don't even remember this, but my mom asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, what every girl would say.
Princess or ballerina?
Cinderella! And shoes.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
okay, shoes do make us happy.
Right.
Do you have like 5 pairs of black shoes that are all for like a different outfit, and they're all fabulous, and like you wear all of them, but nobody, like, you know what I mean? I'm saying like a lot right now, and I don't know why, because I normally don't say that, and it's driving me insane. Anyway, stop it. Okay, keep going.
Do you want me to hit you when you say
Yeah,
it?
please do.
That would make me happy.
Oh dear.
Okay. Oh, when we were talking about rocks, so then I thought, oh, hey, the rose quartz, it's a happy, loving stone.
It is.
That attracts love and inner warmth. I just liked all rocks. I didn't even know what they were.
It's pink.
But then, what is it? Winners. Like
Oh.
HomeSense started selling all these. Last year it was like a la
So
mode
you
for
picked one up.
home decor. No, I picked up a bunch. I love them.
So,
yeah, you can hold
my mom is from Arkansas. Okay, so I have like Southern blood in me, and sometimes my drawl comes out. So yeah, I have. We would go down to Arkansas and visit. And they have like these huge rock shops and places that you go, and like there's tables and tables and tables lined up of rocks. And so that's where we would go pick all these at, like rose quartz and like the purpley. What are the purple, like the crystally? What are those called? Help me here. What's the name of these things?
Amethyst?
Sure.
Okay.
Is that what it's called? I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, Lethbridge we went to the show of rocks and gems and minerals right here in Lethbridge. And they have how come I forgot the word for rockology?
Because you're pulling a Cami.
The Rockology Society. No,
sure, we can make it first.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
I can't think of what it is. That's okay. Anyway, and they will make those gem trees with you, with my girls. My girls still talk about, Mom, we need to go to that association.
Rocks maybe just needs to be a whole topic within itself one day, because
one day
I have things that I just want to say, but I'm holding back because I'm just going to go into tangents. But anyway, so I wanted to go back because I wanted to find a person who I have admired in my life as a happy woman and someone that I draw inspiration from, and hands down, like Lucille Ball. I love her. She used to be my favorite person to watch on TV, well, like the reruns, and I grew up watching her and every episode, and like I just love Lucy and Ethel. And she was such an incredible woman because she didn't have the easiest life, and to accomplish what she did was amazing. She was one of the most famous people in TV, entertainment, radio, for what she did, and she broke boundaries. But
and a woman comedian. That's not a boundary that
I know. So she made us happy. But she has this quote that I love, and it says, "Love yourself first, and everything else falls in line." You really have to love yourself and get anything done in this world. And so that's what I was talking about earlier with finding a way to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, then nothing else is going to go right. Everybody is around you is not going to be happy. It's amazing when you have that optimistic and positive attitude, how it just spreads around you. And when you have that happy-go-lucky kind of attitude, then people around you start having this happy-go-lucky attitude, and it just spreads like wildfire.
I'm going to throw something out.
Go for it.
Loving yourself means saying no to people.
Oh my goodness.
We're back.
A lesson I have to learn.
Okay, because here's the thing. I also used to be a total yes person. Because for that same reason.
Yeah.
Because I thought that's what people needed me to be. And their happiness was way more important than my happiness. And I think maybe that's a little bit of what she's saying. Love yourself first, and then you'll have enough to give everyone else.
So my mom gave me this when I was going through my divorce, and it was a really hard time for me. And my mom called me up one day, and she told me this little story, and it has stuck with me, and it is so true. And I've actually heard it a couple times in different other places, but she said, when you're on an airplane and the oxygen masks come down, what are you supposed to do first? You put it on yourself first, and then you put it on your kids, and then help the other people around you. Because if you're not taking care, there's the goosebumps again. So when you,
I thought you were going to say like, and I was going to hit you.
No, but when you there we go. But when you're taking care of yourself and you're making yourself happy and you love yourself, then everybody else around you will be taken care of and will be happy.
Do you think you can fake it till you make it? Fake
self-love? I hate that phrase. I really hate that phrase. I would rather be totally, I almost said exposed. Oops, I just said. Like out there and real, then fake it till you make it.
No, but maybe it's not maybe faking it isn't like badly practicing. Can you say that till you make it?
Sure.
Is that a better way? Well, here's...
Sure.
Okay, if you're just joining us, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Cami.
And together we are...
Are we saying it together?
Well, no, because I can't remember the name. I want to say Society. We're Soapbox. I wanted to be Soapbox Society, but it was taken.
Do we need to redo that? Because I feel like we've really butchered that.
But we are Soapbox Union.
Yeah.
Union. I don't know how you do union.
Is that what we're doing now? Union.
We'll work on the moves.
Okay. Yeah, that's for next
and
show.
Today's topic is a tough one, and it's also an exciting, happy one.
It kind of is.
But you need both. Like, you need that sadness and the happiness. And
you can't appreciate the happiness if you don't go through the sadness. I just made that up.
Hashtag Soapbox Union. Okay, so I will tell you, in kind of my, I don't know, search for happiness.
Yeah.
Oh, have you read Viktor Frankl's Meaning of Life?
Okay, I have ADHD. I don't read books because I can't sit there long enough to finish one.
Audible. Don't you do Audible?
Oh, hello.
It's audiobooks. You can get stuff done and read books. You can drive around, get your errands done, read a few books. Anyway, Man's Search for Meaning. His story is amazing. He was...
Is this like a true story?
True story. True
Okay,
man.
I like true stories.
And even though he's not a woman, we can still draw hope from his story. He's still...
I didn't know where you were going with that one at first. Sure.
Okay, when he was 16,
yeah,
he wrote Sigmund Freud. Kind of like some theories or philosophies.
Yeah.
And Sigmund Freud found him so fascinating, he kept his letter, and later on they would meet and become kind of colleagues. Anyway, he was a Jewish man during World War II. And because he was a professor, he was allowed to put his name in a lottery to go to the United States. And his name was drawn. And he could have escaped all the concentration camps. But he decided to not go because the lottery ticket was only for him. And he would have left his wife and his mother and father behind.
Oh my goodness.
So he stays in Europe.
Good call. Stay safe.
And he gets thrown into a concentration camp and survives the whole camp. And writes a book called...
How many years was he in there? Like the whole time?
A big chunk of it.
Okay.
Most of the duration of the war, he's in there.
Mm.
And so he's a psychoanalyst, and now he's helping people get through probably what's his hardest thing that he could have totally avoided.
Yeah.
He could have chose to just go to Europe or go to America and not have to face the whole thing, but he decides to stay, and he stays through it. And he says
because his family was there. He
yeah,
didn't want
to
leave
which
his
his mom and dad die, and I think his wife ends up dying in the concentration camps too. But he says everything can be taken away from you except for your right to choose. And that is a hard lesson because I haven't been in a concentration camp, and I sometimes choose way less than happiness every day. And anyways, for a man his life kind of just testifies of you always have the right to choose happiness. And coming from someone who chose in such dire, dark circumstances
and still
joy.
Find happiness and joy and come out of that is incredible.
Yes. And so even Corrie Tenenbaum, The Hiding Place, she also talks about, and she says it more of her sister. When they were in the concentration barracks, she's complaining about the lice, and her sister's like, say thank you for the lice, because of lice, no one's in here raping us, and no one wants, we're so filthy
it's
and
true.
gross.
They're looking for the little things and finding happiness and joy in anything that they can.
Yeah, they would come
just
search
to
the
keep them
barracks.
surviving.
And so I think in our abundance, we forget how much choice we have in happiness. And that's why I say define what it looks like. And make it really specific to you. Like, what would it look like in the morning? And then create your perfect happy morning. And if it's not happening, lower your bar. Seriously.
Well, no, because if we're gonna, do like they did with, appreciating a score, what we would see as a scourge, that, they can see the benefit of it. And that goes back to what I was saying with White Christmas, with count your blessings. And sometimes you just have to sit there and think about it. And truly, when we're trying to figure out how to be happy, it's really hard because sometimes you just don't know where to start. Yeah. Here's your starting point. Just lay in bed and reflect on your day and go, what did I have to be happy about? Or what was I thankful about? And anything, like small things. I am happy today because my mom made soup and she gave it to me at lunchtime for dinner tonight, so I didn't have to cook dinner. Okay. That's like, that was like...
You did remind me of something that is like guaranteed happiness. See this? This is a magic wand. No, just joking. It's a pen. But any pencil would work. Happy! Oh my gosh. No, when you record gratitude, it is proven. Dr. Robert Emmons, 10 years of gratitude research.
So people have gratitude journals that they keep.
Gratitude journals. I keep it on my phone, yeah. Because this is a magic wand for happiness. The more you see it, the more it comes.
But you're like starting to jumpstart your mind to start thinking that way. So when you start writing it down and make a habit of it, then every day as you go through your day, you're going to go, oh, I'm happy for that. Or, oh, look how sweet that is. Or, yeah, I appreciate that. And then you'll also, not within yourself, but you'll also start to see it within other people. There are, okay, I'm going to tell this story because it's really cute. So, do you notice?
Just say like.
Do you notice how many people don't make eye contact with you when you're walking down the street and don't smile at you anymore? Don't smile at me now. That's cheating.
I was just making eye contact. I'll make eye contact with our world.
But this just shows how disconnected we are. I take notice of it because of the story that I'm going to tell. But I do notice when you walk in a mall or you're walking down the street, everybody looks down or they look away or they look at their phone. Nobody wants to connect with each other anymore. Nobody wants to smile. And when you get that, stop smiling at me.
Did you try and perfect the wink? I remember, I was a really awkward winker, but I like it when people are smooth winkers.
No,
smiling.
But I talk with my eyebrows. Do you notice? Okay, now you're going to notice.
Okay, sorry. Go on with your story. Oh, yeah. Cute story.
So, do you notice when you actually get that odd person and you make eye contact and they smile at you? Just a stranger, you're like, oh, that person smiled at me. I'm kind of happy right now. So, my grandma, she's passed now, but when she was at that age where she would start getting her government checks, because she was at the age where she could start getting that,
You're pretty close, aren't you?
Oh, that does not make me happy.
Just joking.
So she would.
I'm older than you.
She would cash in her checks, and instead of getting lottery tickets like all the other seniors do, she would cash it into $5 bills. And she would walk around town, and every person that would smile at her, she would hand them $5.
Oh, and $5 smile challenge.
I know. Guess who didn't hand out very many $5 bills?
Your grandma?
Yeah.
Really?
I know. Shocker. But it's true. But, so, now, do you know why I smile at people?
Because you want $5? Is that why?
There's going to be some little old lady who's
It has to be for someone else.
No. Okay, that's not the only reason. That's not the only reason.
True confession. Is that what happens in your dreams? I don't want to know. Analyze them.
Oh,
just joking. Okay.
No, but aside from maybe I would get $5, is there, it does make an impact on something. So, challenge to us, and challenge to you, when you're out in public somewhere, just look up at somebody and smile and see what they do. If they smile back, then yay, it'll make you feel so good.
Sometimes, you know how when you connect and you look and you smile and then you're like, oh, I don't really know them, and so you kind of just look away like, oh, that was awkward, and I think, why did I do that awkward? Just hold their gaze.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to smile.
Okay, so when
it just comes off awkward.
Yeah, that happens too. Okay, when I was a Zumba instructor,
Yeah.
which was one of my awesome jobs, one of the things they taught you as a fitness coach was that you hold someone's gaze till they look away. And then I always thought that was down, like, because...
So do you ever notice in movies, because actors are trained, and let's do it right now. We're just going to gaze. We're just going to gaze, because it's kind of awkward, but
Yeah.
I don't know why we're doing this. I'm just making...
Should we hold hands?
No! Weird.
One time in a communications class I took at U of A,
Yeah.
you had to go to a complete stranger, you had to stand back to back for 30 seconds, then you had to turn and you had to look into their eyes, and then you had to turn back to back again and then say what you thought of them. But then the other time you had to look at them in the eyes and hold their hands. At my 19-year-old self,
Okay.
could hardly do this. I know.
But anyway, I don't even know why I'm telling this story anymore, but
We didn't gaze at each other.
But I was just noticing in movies, when they're talking and they're having conversations, they keep eye contact and they don't look anywhere else. At least the good actors do. But it
Am I
makes
a good actor?
But it makes a difference when you're watching people. This is really hard to do. My eyes are
It's
dry.
like staring contest.
But anyway,
Yep.
there was no point to that story. I just rambled.
If you're joining us, Cami's grandma will pay you $5 for a smile.
Well, she's not around anymore, so good luck trying to get $5.
5 high fives. Just joking. Welcome for joining Soapbox
Union. We are really
I'm Danielle,
terrible
and this is Cami.
saying her name.
And today we're talking about happiness. And you know what? I'm going to bring us down for a second.
Okay, good. Because my mouth is starting to hurt.
So-
I'm smiling, laughing.
Okay. And
But
I'm
it's
going to
good.
make eye contact with my audience. Like a good actress. Just
And go.
Okay. So there's an actual psychology to happiness. And so when you score a goal, let's pretend Cami's just scored. What do you do? Show me your, like, what's your thing? Like, you just scored a goal.
Really?
Yeah, go. Like, okay, so you raise your arms, and what do
Oh,
you
you didn't see my knees go. My legs are moving down
Your
there.
knees could always go. No, but and then what happens to your chin? Like when you're super happy and excited.
I don't know, like
Like,
this.
no, it just lifts up. It lifts up. Because this is a really happy. Looking up
You just go, aw.
is a really happy place to be.
And then it gets rid of your turkey-ness, so even better.
That's right. And then you have no lines. No, there's actual psychology. So that, like, when you are
So
happy.
you're supposed to hold your...
Yeah, and then look, when you're sad, what do? You totally draw in.
Uh-huh.
And look, your chin goes in too.
Yeah, you kind of open up your... What's this chakra point?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's the one that, like, lets in the love
Okay. Well,
when you're happy.
So one day, my thinking place is the shower. It's just kind of I love warm water, and it's just like my processing
That's my
place.
crying place.
Yeah, total. So one day, I'm in the shower and I'm crying so hard, my face starts to tingle, and I've never had that happen before. Have you ever cried so hard your face tingles?
No.
Well, I looked it up online, and actually, it's a phenomenon that happens.
It's a phenomenon?
And they say it happens into little babies. I don't know how they measure that or how they... Did you cry till your face tingled? No, but anyway, it started to kind of numb out, and it almost scared... It stopped me crying, and all of a sudden I thought, what am I supposed to do with this? And it just really clearly came, look up. And as I looked up, I even thought of that psychology of...
Put your chin up?
Yeah, like, look up. And I don't know, like, slowly the feeling came back. And that's when I looked at it online. But there is something about, like, when we're too focused in on our own thoughts and in our own selves, we tend to, like, draw in. And even crying is... Which I'm a big fan of crying. I think it's really healthy. It releases a lot of...
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Everything. But there's moments when you need to turn off the tears and start realizing what in your life needs to go or what needs to be brought back in. And that kind of choosing happiness.
There's a song in Charlotte's Web where Charlotte's singing to Wilbur and she's like, chin up, da 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 da. So there you go. So we're going to start putting our chins up.
Well, even
and we're going to smile at people. So here we are. We're going to put chins up. We're going to smile at people when we walk down the street. We look a little crazy.
That's right.
But we're happy.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. Crazy is okay. There's nothing.
Crazy is more than okay.
Did we say our names? I always forget that part.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, I have one more thing here that makes me happy.
You're a very visual person.
I am. It's like show and tell.
Yeah.
Can you see
it's
the
great
teaching
because
one?
I learned by visual.
So, I loved many things.
So I like the house.
It's
like
a
the
fairy
gables,
house.
And
it's a fairy
it's
house.
Cute. Do you have a fairy garden at home?
Well, I have the startings of a fairy garden.
I have a fairy garden, and I love it. It is so cute. You know why? Because I just sit there and I have it on my coffee table, and I just gaze into it, and I just let my imagination go, thinking about like these little fairies that could come in and walk through the door of my little fairy house, and it just makes me happy. It's a little thing. It's a little joy.
Right? And
that's cute.
The other thing that I've been trying to do too is realize how much abundance I live in, and getting rid of a ton of my abundance and just donating it, and even the things that I still really love.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't wear it or clean it or dust it, I just give it back. And I even say to it, like, I love you, I still love you, you're still really cute, I even like wearing you, you still look nice on me, but I don't.
But then why would you give it away then if it still looks good on you and you still?
Because I don't wear it. Do you know you only wear 20% of your closet? And so I have been trying to get my closet. It's taken me a few years. I'll never be a real minimalist because I love tchotchkes. Look at me. But I have been just releasing it, letting it go, giving it away. Especially when so my basement was completely undeveloped.
Mm-hmm.
And that was right when all the Syrian refugees were coming in. And I thought, I have a whole bunch of stuff. It's nice, but my basement was just undeveloped. And so I thought, okay, I'm giving it all away. Every bed has just one set of sheets. I wash them and put them right back because that's all I was doing anyway. Yeah. And so I gave it all away. And then not even a year later, we decided to redo our basement. And I thought, oh, crap. I'm giving all this stuff away. What am I going to do?
Oh, new stuff.
No, I didn't have money for new stuff. No, I gave it all away. And so then I just knelt down and prayed and said, I've tried to be generous. And I kid you not, the stuff I got back, I'll show you a picture of my basement, was either free off Kijiji for uber good deal, or I worked a way to barter around it. And my basement is full of beautiful, absolutely beautiful things that were way nicer than anything I gave away. And
score.
It makes me happy because that is just the process of how it goes. So I find when you give away love, it all goes. I had a teacher in music who was like,
like attracts like.
Yeah, anyway. And so living in less has made me appreciate more, and how much.
It does, and that's why there is this whole minimalist movement, because people are actually finding when they have less, they're happier, and they appreciate what they have so much more than when they had just mounds and mounds of stuff and things. It's just things. It's just stuff. But the things that really matter in this life are family, friends, and yourself. Really.
It is true.
So, what more could you ask for?
That's right.
A lottery ticket that wins.
No, that's only happy for a year.
I'm okay with that. I've had some pretty bad years. I can go for a good year.
It's only possible to live happily ever after on a day-to-day basis.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's true.
Why? I kind of don't get it.
Happily ever after?
On day-to-day.
Well, because
it's just
like that day. It's like
just a temporary thing.
Because it's impossible to have a fairy tale life.
Okay.
Right? So you can't just know what the outcome of your life is going to be, and it's just sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. It's just a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I can be totally happily ever after today. Or there's your Cinderella.
No, well, I think we all have Cinderella stories. That moments of just, well, there's a few lessons in Cinderella.
Down and out, and then
Well, the rags to riches, and
that's not what I meant. I didn't mean like a monetary thing. I just meant like having those low points in life and then finding the happy points.
Okay, well, she's really kind of a girl that's about trying to hide everything, that she's not really assertive, that she's actually has cooler shoes and dress than she wears every day, right? And then she has to be completely authentic in the end and say, like, this is
what I am. Take it or leave it. But the shoe fits, so you kind of got to stick to your word here, buddy.
Just joking. Or maybe I like the ending of The Paper Bag Princess a little more.
I like that one better.
Where she's like, Rupert, you're a bum.
Yeah.
I'll slay my own dragon. Go.
I kind of like girls like that. I don't need a guy. I'll just go do it myself. I can and I will. Watch me.
I can and I will. Watch me. Well, are we almost...
How much time have we got? Wherever?
Because, yeah, we started a little late today because we're still working on our clouds. We have it. I lied.
We do have clouds. They've been there the whole time. We're just staring at a camera that has a green background. Because we're told we have to stare at the camera, so we don't look up and go, oh yeah, there's a whole background behind us.
Okay, yes.
Oh, that just made me so happy.
Doesn't it? I forgot. You can just be in the clouds.
Yeah, don't do that. But this was really fun. I think.
Oh wait, no, I do need to tell you my favorite quotes because I do have some favorite happiness quotes.
Okay.
Quote number 1 is comes from this like grandma lovely lady, Marjorie Pay Hinckley. She's no longer with us, but she said, and I'm going to read it because the only way to get through life is to laugh your way through it.
Oh yeah.
You either have to laugh or cry, and I prefer to laugh because crying gives me a headache, and it is true. Even though a good cry feels good, you do have that headache after.
You do.
Whereas, honestly...
And then you're just hungry.
I don't know.
No? Have you not cried, like had this like horrible cry and you're like, oh man, I'm hungry, where's the Doritos?
No, usually after a cry is I sleep.
Or that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, laughing is...
Right?
Laughing is the best medicine.
And
that's how a lot of people find, like you were talking about the concentration camps, that's a lot of ways that people find their way out of tragedy is laughter.
So I was watching this one girl and it was like the week before her wedding, and she got a car accident and was paralyzed, and then she got half of her body like back.
The feeling back?
Back. So she could move half her body and then the other half was just limp. But she could walk, so she must have had, I don't know. But this arm didn't move. And she was talking about she got her good hand stuck in the car door. Oh! And so she couldn't reopen the door because this hand didn't work. And then she was talking about finding laughter in this, and I'm thinking, I don't think this is so funny. But she said that her and her husband were kind of on the way, like she was there for half an hour, and on the way to the hospital.
With the door on.
Yeah, and she's like honking it with her head, trying to do all these things. Anyway, and her husband's like, I'd like to see the replay of that someday. and they just kind of burst out laughing, and that was her point. Like, you have to laugh through that. And,
yeah,
there's much to be learned from.
There is you know what, and we're still learning. Anyway, there's a lot to be learned still. But we're doing these little things to kind of...
That's right. Just kind of inspire the world, to keep us revitalized, to be really authentic and say, women, we can choose happiness. And
we choose it. That's
and if
right.
there are those things that aren't happy, let's find ways to create them. And often it's just sharing them with people.
Do you know?
Or paying people. I pay lots of people.
I'm thinking of Harry Potter, where they're in front of the mirror and they have to face Bogart, and then it's their fear, and then they have to turn into something funny, because then it changes it, and then they realize how silly and how stupid it was, and so it's not so scary and fearful anymore. And that's sometimes how we just have to attack life. It's just okay, let's go for it. Let's find the happy or the silver lining in whatever thing we're going through.
And when I say lower the bar, I don't mean
I know what you mean.
I know. Okay, good.
You know what we mean.
I don't mean no standards or anything. But this is a good quote that I kind of remind myself about a lot. And it says, anyone who imagines that bliss is normal is going to waste a lot of time running around shouting that he's been robbed. The fact is, most putts don't drop. Most beef is tough. Most children grow up to be just people.
It's true.
And most successful marriages require a high degree of mutual tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. And most jobs are more often dull than otherwise. Life is like an old-time rail journey. Delays, sidetracks, smoke, dust, cinders, and jolts, interspersed only occasionally by beautiful vistas, thrilling bursts of speed. The trick is to be thankful to thank the Lord for letting you have the ride.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was Jenkin Lloyd Jones. And I think that's it. That's what I mean by lower the bar. Like, my kids are just...
Don't expect the big
Yeah.
and the pomp,
pomp and circumstance?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. All the time. Like, life isn't about these monumental, epic events all the time.
It's just about the tiny moments that remind us that we're alive.
Yeah.
And
We should be grateful for everything we've got. Count your blessings. Start a gratitude journal. And put your chin up.
and smile. You might get $5. I think that's where we end.
There is our tips for the day. Go be happy.
Happiness. Choose it. Okay.
We're done.
We're good.